Pasa to the pack. It is Pack here.
AKA your mama's best friend, your daddy's worst nightmare.
If you watched the NBA draft last night, you know that there's a lot of players that are looking really good and looking like they're going to be great NBA players real soon. The thing is, in NBA 2K23, they're going to release all the brand new rookies and they're going to give them ratings. And this is always the hardest thing in the world, to predict how good a player is going to be in the first day of the NBA, given off of their draft choice. But we're going to do our best to find out. Now, what I'm going to do in today's video is go to the top 5 picks in the NBA draft and predict their ratings. Before this video starts, if you like this kind of content when it comes to NBA 2K ratings and news and stuff like that, please join the pack and subscribe. Let's get the video started with the first pick in the draft, Paolo Banchero. Now, the first pick in the draft has been very weird these past couple years. So last year it was Cade Cunningham, 80 overall. The year before that, it was Anthony Edwards, 77 overall. Then it was Zion, who was an 81, and then DeAndre Ayton, who was a 79. Literally all over the place. We have a player like Zion as an 81 overall, and a guy like Anthony Edwards, who's a 77 overall. Two great players, two players that had completely different expectations on day one. And I want to break down Paolo Banchero and where I think he's going to be. Now, you looked at Zion and they gave him an 81 overall rating because it was obvious this man was going to be good in the NBA, like, period. There's no debate. There's some players you look at and you see that they're either physical gifts or skill gifts, and you just know, like Curry's three-point shooting was a skill gift. Zion's athleticism in his frame is a physical gift. So you know that automatically he's going to be good, right? To give Paolo Banchero an 81 overall, I don't see anything in his game or his build that makes me go, that is a superstar, future superstar. I think he has an NBA ready body. I think he's definitely skilled. I think he can score in isolation. The only player here that gives that vibe is DeAndre Ayton and Cade Cunningham. So DeAndre Ayton was a 79, Cade was an 80. These are guys that like basically had the NBA like body ready. And then they had a couple, they had like a little isolation game. So I think Paolo from an 80 to a 79, I personally believe he's going to be a 79 overall when the game drops. But I wouldn't be surprised if it's about an 80. Chet Holmgren at number 2. He was the second pick in the draft for the Thunder. So using this little model that 2K has given us of like players that have gifts are an 81 overall versus players that have potential like Anthony Edwards are a 77, Chet Holmgren's interesting. Chet Holmgren is expected to be very good. I know he's super skinny, but this guy is super tall and athletic for how, I guess, tall he is, and he's super long, so he's automatically assumed to be good. Like, I think he's one of the most for sure players in this draft of like, he's probably going to be pretty decent. So to give him like maybe a 79 overall, just like Paolo, I think it's fair, because Paolo is given a 79 because he's a safe pick. He's a solid pick. Chet's given a 79 because he's expected to be great because of his potential, immediate potential. So they're two different guys that have different, I guess they bring two different things. But I think Chet is the one that I would say is the expected maybe superstar one day. So I'm also going to give Chet a 79 tied with Paolo Banchero. I know that this one might be a little controversial, but this is a gut feeling. I think they're going to give him the same rating, which they've never done, by the way. They've never given the first pick and the second pick the exact same rating before, but I think they're going to do it. At number 3, it is Jabari Smith, drafted to the Rockets. I think Jabari Smith is a great pickup because he's NBA ready, super solid player. But I think he's going to be a 78 overall. I think Anthony Edwards is also a solid player that was ready for the NBA, and they gave him a 77. Jabari is a bigger player. I expect him to be a 78. I think he's going to match up really well on the Rockets. I think he's going to have good teammates around him, and I think he's going to be one of the highest rated players on the team. That still gives him about a 78 overall, and I think that's a fair rating, and I wouldn't be surprised if he ends the season with that rating as well. So not only am I predicting it to be the beginning rating, I'm predicting it to be the rating for the rest of the season. I think he's good. There's not really much to say about him. He's a pretty straightforward player, but I think he's going to be good. At number 4, the 4th pick in the draft was Keegan Murray. He is exciting. He's the one player in the draft I'd wish the Spurs were able to get. It wasn't going to happen, but he's damn good. You don't put the numbers he put up in college on the efficiency he put up as a fluke. The dude is athletic. The dude is NBA ready. He's long, a crazy efficient, can shoot, He can literally do anything you want him to do as a big. It's really impressive, to be honest with you. I think, personally, he's also going to have a 79 overall with Chet and with Paolo. You might disagree. That's a fair argument, but I'm gonna just say quickly that I think the Kings actually got a good draft pick for once. I think they did a good job in picking Keegan. He looks like he's going to be legit good NBA player. Say what you want. He looks like he's the real deal. 79 overall. You can just tell. At number 5 on this list, the final player I'm going to talk about is Jaden Ivy. I think Jaden Ivy is probably either going to be a 77 or 78. And I don't even think that's because I think he's like worse than the other players. Listen, bro, when you pick a point guard in the draft that's athletic, they're almost always going to be good. Like almost always. He's the first point guard picked in this draft. He's going to be good. There's very rare instances when it's just not the case. And most of the times it isn't the case, they usually have like a big flaw. I don't see a big flaw with Jaden Ivy. I think he's good. I think he's going to impact the Pistons immediately. I think he's going to start immediately. So giving him like a 78 to a 77, I think is fair. I definitely think the people above him are probably better than him. I think so, at least. So that's why I don't want to give him the same rating. I don't even think it's fair to give him the same rating as Jabari. I think I'm going to stick with the 77 overall, just because other players above him have either crazy stats in college or crazy gifts, either physically or athletically. So give that to Jaden Ivy, who's good and he's a great player. He put up okay stats in college. He's going to be good. It's just that you're basing this rating, the college rate, like you're supposed to give these players a rating based off of what you know and what we've seen. And so far, what we've seen and what we know is that I don't think Jaden Ivy is better than any of the people I've just mentioned before, but I think he's going to be good. Now, this isn't the rating I'm giving Jaden Ivy that I think is going to be the rating at the end of the season. The Pistons are bad and they play everyone. I expect Jaden Ivy to get more minutes in the NBA than he did in college, right? So he could end the season with like an 85 overall. That wouldn't even be out of the question. Do I think he's an 85 overall at the start of the NBA? No, I don't. So Jaden Ivy, to me, is around a 77 overall, and I think it's a fair rating to give him. These are my predictions. So I end up thinking that Chet, Paolo, and Keegan Murray are all going to have the highest rating in this rookie class. What do you guys think? Who do you think is going to be the end up with the highest rating at the end of the season? Basically, who's going to be rookie of the year? Let me know your opinion in the comments below. I'm going to give a wild guess. I'm going to say Keegan Murray. I think Keegan Murray is the real deal. I think he's going to show us a lot of things, and that's my prediction. What do you think? Leave it in the comments below. If you like this channel, please give it a sub. I'll see you guys next time.